It doesn't matter how old you are right now or how perfect your life looks put together from the outside. Because underneath all of that, there is something sitting quietly in your chest that has been there for a very long time. And if you don't stop and fix that, you will spend the rest of your life swimming in circles, exhausted, wondering why nothing ever feels like enough. This is the world of Psychology with Gary. In this channel, I just want us to talk, to have a real conversation, no judgment, no pretending. Just two people being honest. So if that sounds like what you need right now, please like, subscribe, and let's get into this together. Childhood is supposed to be the best time of your life. And I mean that genuinely. It is supposed to be the one season where you are completely soaked in love, wrapped up in safety, where the biggest problem you have is whether you can stay outside until the streetlights come on. The one time in your entire life when the world is supposed to carry you, not the other way around. But for some of us, that was not our story. And the painful part, the part that still stings even now, is that nobody told us it was wrong. It was just called normal. It was called growing up. It was called being mature. And we believed them. We wore it like a badge. I wore it like a badge. Right from around the age of 7, something shifted. Something in you, something in me, quietly changed, and neither of us even got to say goodbye to the child we were before it happened. Let me talk about something people in this space rarely want to say out loud. There is an anger inside people who grew up too fast that is so old, so deep, and so well-dressed that most of them don't even recognize it as anger. It doesn't always look like rage. It looks like impatience with people who can't handle basic things. It looks like quietly resenting people who had easy childhoods, even though you would never say that. It looks like being irritated when someone is being too needy, because something in you learned that needs were weakness, and weakness had consequences. That anger? It started at 7. It started the first time you realized that being a child was somehow inconvenient in your own home. That your feelings were too loud, too much, too heavy for the adults around you to hold. So you swallowed them. And swallowed things don't disappear, they just find other places to live. Here is something I want you to sit with. Have you ever been in a room full of people who love you and still felt completely alone? Have you ever achieved something you worked hard for and felt nothing? Not happiness, not pride, just this flat, quiet emptiness where the feeling was supposed to be? That is not ingratitude. That is not depression, necessarily. That is what happens when a child spends years suppressing every emotion that was inconvenient, and then grows into an adult who no longer knows how to access the full range of what they feel. You became so good at not feeling the hard things that you accidentally turned down the volume on all of it. Joy included. That emptiness is not who you are. It is the bill that comes when a 7-year-old decides, because they had no other choice, that feelings are dangerous. And this is where it gets really personal for me, because I lived this too. When you grow up being needed, being the responsible one, the capable one, the one everybody leans on, your sense of worth gets quietly, completely tied to your usefulness. You start to believe, not consciously, but in the deep wordless way that childhood beliefs live in us, that you are only as valuable as what you can do for other people. So you overgive. You overfunction. You say yes when your entire body is screaming no, because somewhere inside you, there is a 7-year-old who genuinely believes that the moment you stop being useful, you become invisible. That the love is conditional. That if you rest, if you ask for something, if you show the parts of you that are struggling, people will leave. Relationships suffer because of this. Deeply. You attract people who take because taking feels familiar. You push away people who genuinely want to give because being cared for feels foreign and frankly terrifying. You end up lonely in the middle of relationships, wondering why you can never fully let anyone in. That is not a character flaw. That is a child who was never shown what safe love actually looks like. Here is the part that took me the longest to accept. All of this, the hypervigilance, the anger, the emptiness, the giving too much and receiving too little, none of it means you are broken. It means you were brilliant. A 7-year-old who adapted to an environment that asked too much of them and found a way to survive it is not damaged. They are resilient in the most profound and painful sense of that word. But surviving is not the same as living. And the work, the real work, is not about going back and fixing what happened. You can't. What you can do is slowly, with patience and without judgment, start introducing yourself to the idea that you are allowed to just exist. Not perform, not provide, not hold everything together. Just exist. The 7-year-old did what they had to do. You, right now, get to decide what you do next. If any part of this felt like someone finally put words to something you have been carrying for years, drop it in the comments. I mean that, I read every single one. And if someone in your life is that person, the strong one, the one who always handles it, share this with them. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for someone is simply let them know they have been seen. I'll see you in the next one.